We rounded Ivory Island and are in Millbank Sound. I guess we rounded Ivory Island about an hour ago, and this is turning into quite a non-event, which is exactly how we planned it. There's hurricane strength winds forecast off the headlands of northwestern Vancouver Island, forecast for to hit sometime after lunch today, and it's I think it's about 9:30 right now. We left early to try and get ahead of the winds that are going to be on the whole coast, not just off the headlands of Vancouver Island. It's supposed to blow gale force here also, and right now we have 13 knots on a beam reach about 2 or 3 miles from the top end of Millbank Sound heading into Finlayson Channel. The sailing's very, very comfortable, much easier than yesterday, and as soon as we get into Finlayson Channel we're going to be in essentially a ditch between mountains, and there might be lots of wind in there, but there won't be any ocean swell, so it'll be a little bit more manageable. We're making for a place called Bottleneck Cove tonight, and Bottleneck Cove is supposed to be a storm shelter, so looking forward to getting the hook set in some nice thick mud and just sitting down and sitting this approaching storm out.
And I won't be back until springtime. Could be I won't be back at all. It's better if you don't find me. I think it's better if you don't call.
That's our buddy boat Snow Leopard behind us. It's a Leopard 44 catamaran. It's a super comfortable boat, and pretty quick too. We're just north of Clemtu now after leaving Bottleneck Cove last night. We chose Bottleneck Cove partly because it's a bomb shelter as far as storm protection goes. And we dodged a bullet. There was 2 gusts last night. Mostly there was 0 knots in the anchorage, which is exactly how we like it. That low that I was referring to is tracking across the north tip of Vancouver Island right now. And in Queen Charlotte Strait, which is where we were about 5 days ago, there's winds in the 40s. And a couple hours ago it was in the 40s, gusting into the mid-50s. So I wouldn't want to be anywhere down around Cape Caution right now. It would be nasty. Even in an anchorage, it would be exceedingly unpleasant to be sitting out those winds. That low is supposed to track into the mainland later on today and then dissipate. And it looks like we might even get a couple days with no rain, which would be really sweet because it's been raining kind of non-stop since our day in Pruth Bay, which had rain, it just wasn't non-stop. We're motoring up a short inlet called Cootsie Inlet, about 25 miles north of Clemtu, and we're going to spend the night up at the end. It's really very spectacular in here. Everything rises directly from the water, which is 500 feet deep where the boat is right now.
There's a corner up ahead, think we better hit the brakes. We gamble with our future, but we don't decide the stakes.
If you watched last week's episode, you saw us get spanked at Queen Sound. We managed to find shelter from the winds from that storm, but we couldn't escape the rain. We spent a couple nights in Finlayson Channel, the second in a place called Cootsie Inlet, which was stunning.
I try to be thoughtful of what I...
After Cootsie Inlet, we kept motoring up Finlayson Channel. There was no sailing, but the views made up for it. We did decide to stop in Butedale and go for a hike. While we were there, we met a boat of adventurers also heading north. They have way more persistence for sailing than we do and managed to sail, in their words, 98% of the way from Ladysmith to here. So it's a moment of group indecision here as we're all trying to figure out what the best way to drown ourselves is. Do we go along the high skinny log that's a direct path, or do we make the leap of doom across this watery chasm for the relative safety of that. All for the sake of getting a little bit better view of the lake. So we're in Buttedale and we met these fellas. We actually saw them yesterday anchored in, what's that place called?
We were on Green Spit at the mouth of Coots Inlet.
Coots Inlet, that's right. And yeah, so what's your name?
I'm Trevor Dickinson. This is my boat Sea Dream of Clyde. It's a 1979 westerly discus from the UK. It's been sailing around BC for I think 29 years.
Yeah.
At least, and then I bought it 2.5 years ago now.
Yeah, and there's 3 of you aboard?
Yeah, 3 of us aboard. Got two friends, and my wife will be joining us a bit later.
Nice. And where are you going?
We're heading up to Glacier Bay, Alaska, and spending most of the summer up there and coming back down in September.
Yeah, and do you do anything off the boat other than just sail?
Yeah, we do lots of hiking, we do some climbing. We also got our skis on board. They're tucked up in the V berth with me.
Oh, you gotta tell me about that.
Yeah, so we're gonna do some ski touring on Baranoff Island in Glacier Bay, and probably over at Sitka on Mount Edgecombe is a nice target overlooking the Pacific Ocean as well.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you've told me that you also do YouTube.
Yeah, I have a small channel. I think we're at, last I checked, 290 subscribers. So if you want to follow along our adventures and subscribe, I'll be posting videos from this trip pretty soon. I'm just finishing posting videos from my 2011 trip, which I did on a Catalina 27.
Yeah.
I decided to re-edit it when I realized how horrible the audio was and the editing that I did 11 years ago. So those videos are up now, and the last part will be up by the time you see this one, I think, too.
And what's the name of your channel? Where can people find you?
It's called Sailing Sea Dream of Clyde. So if you just search on YouTube, it'll turn up there. And Instagram and Facebook and all the other stuff.
All the other stuff.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Cheers.
Have a great trip.
Thank you.
Our next stop, Bishop Bay Hot Springs, is just a couple hours motor north of Buttedale. Once we arrived, we found an anchorage that was steep and required a stern tie. But the hot springs themselves are beautiful, with warm water and a fantastic view. Well, good morning from Bishop Bay Hot Springs. I'm standing on the boardwalk right now. There's a campsite here, I suppose for kayakers, because it's in the middle of nowhere, and you're certainly not going to get here any other way but by boat. And I'm just going to go take a look. There's a rocky bench down there you could pull your boat out on. And then there's 4 pads in this amazing forest here.
It's beautiful. The sun actually decided to shine today.
It's been shining for weeks.
Oh yeah, just nonstop.
Cheers.
Beautiful spot.